Greetings, I'm John O'Toole. Now, I may not be what you might consider something good enough for the Boston Symphony Orchestra, but when I play my flute, I feel very connected to Earth. And if you could find something to do that helps you connect with Earth, go for it. You could play a drum, you could play a Native American flute, you could play any kind of flute, any kind of instrument. The other thing you could do is you could play with dirt. Now this time of the year right now, this video is being shot in April of 2020. Most of you know just exactly what I'm talking about, what's going on in the world out there. And it is quite extraordinary. So something that you should consider doing is playing in some dirt. Now, I've talked to so many people about playing in dirt and growing their own vegetables, and they'll say they have a brown thumb because they just can't grow a thing. Now, if you're from New England, then so many people pride themselves on their gardens and their farms and so forth. And if you're good at that, you know, you're probably not even going to pay any attention to me. But for the rest of the world that doesn't have the space, or they don't have the land, or the land they have is not really very farmable unless they bring in a foot of topsoil to start up a garden bed. The prep work is just beyond your ability. And most of us, we have our favorite things to grow. A lot of people will get their vegetables from local farms and then they'll turn around and can them. Or, there are people that grow it themselves. They'll can it for winter so that they can have food throughout the year. Now, not all vegetables can be canned, but almost all of them can be. Certainly not lettuce and leaves type things. But tomatoes and cucumbers, or of course, would be pickles, and beans would be the lily beans, gilly beans. So there's a number of things that you can grow and can. You can even can mushrooms. You could buy them from a local supplier or a local farm and then dry them out real well and can them. Or you could freeze them. So those are some possibilities. Now, about 16 years ago, there was this man, very clever man, in Minnesota named Larry Hall. That's Larry Hall, H-A-L-L. You can look him up on YouTube. He has a channel on YouTube. Also has a Facebook group too, but it's a closed group on Facebook. But the videos, of course, you could watch to your heart's content. Not only does he have his channel, this has been one of those things, you know, when you see a picture of some kitty cat doing something cute. Not my kitty cats, they don't do things cute. Chew the cat. And it'll go viral for, you know, millions of views or something. That's kind of what's gone on with this gutter grow system. There's so many variances about it out there across the world. It is just amazing. You know, there are, you know, thousands of channels out there on YouTube that are dedicated to growing vegetables or growing food. And many of them, people are doing this grow system. Now, the original grow system is essentially what he did Well, I don't have a Walmart bag, but this is a woven shopping bag. It has a different name on it, but it has a fabric in it that is like a woven, like a woven material, not hard plastic shopping bag. So if you fill this up with water, the water would run out. That's what I mean by woven. So they take this kind of a bag. Of course, you would take out this insert that's in the bottom of the bag, and then I should have actually brought one in here. I tried to have everything I needed and I forgot it, but in the bottom of the bag you could put a small hole and a net cup, like a 3-inch, 4-inch net cup. Now a net cup is used in hydroponics. They fill it with some kind of material, whether it's a lava rock or gravel or compost or something, and they'll drop it into a bath of water, either in a tube or raft or something, and then the plant will grow from there. What he does is that he'll put that at the bottom of the bag, fill the bag up with a good compost that you probably use to do your seed starts in. You fill the bag up and then put your plant in it. And then the plant and the bag with the teacup, coming out, the net cup coming out the bottom, would then go into a gutter. A gutter like what you'd have on the house. You could do the plastic ones or you could do the metal ones. And you would support that with a couple of 2x4s on either side, and that would just hold the bag up. And then you'd fill the gutter up with water. That's it. And all you have to do in your mind is to walk by every day and fill your gutter up with some water. That's it. Once you're planted, it's going. The nutrients are going to be in the bag with your compost, and your plant will do is it will draw the water up through capillary action from the bottom of the bag to the root system. Now the other reason why, when you go and you look and you'll see people have taken buckets and they'll drill holes in the side, is that one of the other advantages of using this kind of a method is that you get air pruning. Now air pruning is the ability to get oxygen to your roots. In a hydroponic system, what they'll do is use air stones to add air into the water, give it some bubbles so that when it gets to the roots, the oxygen will stick to the roots. So you're giving it the water and you're also giving it oxygen easily versus having them have to convert it out of the water. So the air pruning allows the air to go through this mesh into the soil in where the roots will take up the oxygen. It's pretty simple. Now, the alternative to this, some people have made these bags out of landscaping cloth. They'll buy a roll, 10 feet, 20 feet, 40 feet, and they'll, using their sewing machine, they'll make their own bags. So that works too. It's really your own ingenuity can do whatever you want. You take the idea and you go with it. The other option is you don't have a gutter, but gee, you got a 4-inch pipe, plastic pipe. Well, then you use the 4-inch plastic pipe and you drill holes in the 4-inch pipe and you support it with a couple of pieces of wood so the bag doesn't fall over, and you're good. You put caps on the end. You can either fill it up on your own. A lot of people have come up with ways of putting an automatic a filler on it so that you can fill up a rain barrel, feed that to your either your gutter or your pipe, and then it'll automatically fill. Like when you flush the toilet, in there there's a float valve that turns on and off to refill your tank. Same theory, works the same way. It's very interesting. Now another thing you could do is that you can buy these root pouches, particularly at this particular moment in time. It's very hard to search for those woven shopping bags. The Walmart used to have the shopping bag, and you could go in for 59 cents each and buy, 100 of those bags. But then they were harder and harder to get. So the other alternative is that you can buy root pouches. Now, the odd thing is that industry growers, professional growers, use these root pouch bags to grow like their plants in. Particularly, they grow like fruit trees to get them going, and then they'll turn around and of course sell the fruit trees, and they're already into a ball. Or they'll use them for tomato plants or things like that. They're kind of self-sustaining once you fill them up. They're very durable. If you get the high quality ones, they'll last a couple of years. So that way you just dump out your dirt and let them dry out, and you can refill them on the next season. These of course are made. You could just buy one, and then you could make your own out of off your sewing machine. So it's a very cool idea, and it's a simple idea. So there's all kinds of ways out there to grow your own stuff. You may not grow as well as a professional farm, but you might be able to grow enough for you. And what if you were to grow a bunch of tomatoes, and your neighbor grew a bunch of cucumbers, and your other neighbor did a bunch of beans, and then you just shared it. You got together at the end of the season, you shared what you had, and here you have something for, a salsa that you could put in. Oh, somebody could do onions. And then you can do a salsa that you can for the winter. It's a great opportunity. So, there's also hydroponics. I have done it before, that you just take a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket. I love those Home Depot buckets. You take the lid, you cut a hole in the middle of the lid, but put a net cup in there, a large one, like a 5-inch or so, and you put one tomato plant in it. Now, I'm thinking of myself as not a very chance I'm going to get anything. One year I just said, well, it's not going to grow that well. I'm just going to put 3, actually it was 4, into the lid. 4 tomato plants. My plants were so mammothly out of control, it was a shocker. It was a total shocker. I might even I'll look for the video of them, of how a mess they were. And they were so intertwined that it was difficult to actually do harvests with them. But it worked. So you take a bucket of water, put the lid on it. Now you're going to use water. Now, since it's water and not soil or compost, you're going to have to put some nutrients in there. One of them is calcium. The other one is Epsom salt. And There's something called the Master's Blend. And it's nutrients that you dilute with water, and then you mix it into your water in your hydroponics, and it gives you sufficient nutrients. Chances are it's going to evaporate. You're just going to add more water. You're probably not going to have to add much more than that for this season to just maintain your level. You want your level around where the root systems are. You don't want to have it filled to the top. So you're going to probably drill a hole in your bucket, you know, at some point like 4 inches down from the top, so that there's enough room for the air to get into your root system. If you totally fill that bucket with water, you're going to rot your roots. But there are lots of videos out there talking about hydroponics in this way of growing vegetables out of buckets. There are lots of them on YouTube. And this is a great time to be looking at them, because you could either watch, you know, the movie stations or movie channels, or you can watch YouTube and learn how to grow your own food. There's a guy in Hawaii, DANK something, and he's developed all these handmade valves that you can do, that you could feed from a rain barrel into your hydroponic system, so that it would give them the nutrients they need on them. And you do little floating rafts. You take a couple of bins, and then you cut the tops off, or you use the lids, drill holes in the top for the net cups, and then the roots are going to go down into the mix. Some people will do it that way, and other people will add an air stone to add some oxygen into the water. You can try it all different ways, however which ways you work. But the thing is you don't need lots of land to do it. You could do it on your patio, you could do it on your porch, you know. It gets a little messy when you do it indoors. Now I would do it indoors, but it gets a little messy. And I hope you've watched my microgreen series that I have done on this channel, both for CTSB and also for YouTube. I'm not an expert at growing microgreens, but it'll get you started, and then you can figure it out from there for yourself. Microgreens are a very easy thing to grow, and they're highly nutritious. Microgreens is when you allow your plant to grow up to the first or second leaf, and then you harvest it. And all the nutrients that comes from that seed that would normally go to make a big plant is in that top of those 2 leaves or 4 leaves. Very high in nutrition. And all you really need is a tray. You can grow them on your kitchen counter. You can get more elaborate like I did and do some 4-foot shells with some fluorescent lights. I use LED lights. But check out my videos. They're on the YouTube channel as Rev John O'Toole, and also on CTSB TV. In their archives, you should find my videos in there someplace. And of course, I have a lot of other things that I do too, meditation videos and such. Like I said, when I play my flute, it's a Native American flute that I've had for a number of years. It's the top part of it. And I've taken this on a lot of journeys around the world, and I've played my flute in a lot of different places. And it's a way that I feel connected to the earth. So in the background, when you're watching the pictures, you're going to hear a little ensemble of me playing the flute and playing a drum and playing my magic beans. So please feel free to contact me through the station or through YouTube, and enjoy, and get out there and dig in some dirt. And for now, the fairies will be with you digging in some dirt.